And I don't know if you had any other takeaways from Tempo Storm on their Cobble matches.
Tempo Storm are going to look to aggress a lot through A long and drop zone. But these are areas where most CT maps, most T sides, I should say, will look to aggress. There's nothing out of the ordinary there. It's just the execution and how they do it. Henny gets lots of picks from long A with the AWP on T sides. It's definitely something to be weary of if you are on the SK roster. But here we go, guys, for the third time, I should say. It's the problem with best of fives. You get a bit lost in your own mind. 3 and 4 is difficult to count between, but here's going to be SK starting on the CT side of things. Arguably the more difficult side on Cobblestone, and Tempo Storm looking to aggress through drop. I expect to see this a whole lot more as the game goes on, and there's Asilian to step up. He lands the headshot onto Lucas. That will force Bolts back into the drop again, but the T's are bouncing back with a vengeance. 2 kills back-to-back from them, make that a third as well. Phelps is going to go huge. And with Pimp on 12 HP, and the bomb going to get planted momentarily, this is looking pretty decent for Tempo Storm.
Got scared that Freeze was maybe going to jump the gun there and go out a little too early. He was playing A by himself, got some early information at middle that no one was there, so having made the rotation back, the initial B hold was decent for SK, but it's gone into a 2-on-2 right now. It's going to come down to a retake situation. You've got 1 smoke there on Pimp, but he's only got 12 HP.
Pimp is going to be moving his way around the back as well, so this leaves Freeze by himself for the foreseeable future. He's not going to look to push out before his teammate, surely. He'll be throwing the decoys. Very nearly lands the headshot, but here's Henny. This is why I thought we may see the wait until Pimp gets in. He's got a smoke, but that's about it. The 5-7 could come good here. Around the corner, there's the first kill for him. Henny goes down, and now it's just him versus Phelps. And we tickling the bomb, trying to get Phelps out of the smoke, as Phelps is not buying this whatsoever. Starts to move his way around, and Pimp will land the shot. He's going to go for the defuse, but he doesn't have enough time. Picks up a defuse kit, but he's going to end up getting killed from the bomb. So close, yet so far. Tempo Storm will pick up the pistol.
Pimp, best 5-7 player in the world? Like,
making a case
12
for it.
HP, getting out there in that 1 versus 2. It's unfortunate. The one player that was alive in drop just couldn't stay long enough as Pimp was trying to make that flank there on the B platform. He nearly does it, and if he knew the kit was down earlier, maybe he could have got out to it. But the time was certainly close, so it's Tempo Storm that will take that first one. And they go for Galil's, even the P90 coming out on Phelps, AK on Henny, and UMP onto Lucas, and a CT force buy from SK Gaming.
HE in the hands of Asilian. 4 players on long A. That's got to be frustrating after Pimp cleans everyone up to not be able to clutch it. Tempo Storm playing this slow. Expected, really, in these sort of rounds. A lot of CT sides will try something that a left fielder try and do something that can catch the T's unawares.
So Henny just looking to get any of those CTs to move. You can see where SK are hiding out there as they look for the information. So Tempo going to continue to play patient. We saw SK Gaming just out patiencing, I guess that's the best way to phrase it, Hellraisers the other day. Like, every time SK would sit and wait for Hellraisers on either side when they were terrorists or CTs, they'd always be winning out. So Tempo Storm trying to do the same thing, but SK not budging at all. Finally, we have 2 players actually pulling off of long A, but still 2 deposited there.
It's a pretty big kill. If Lucas takes this one down, he can start to get himself into connector.
Pushed around.
Look at how quickly the rotations go back and forth from SK Gaming. Originally, they wanted to stack on B. Lucas definitely giving them some doubts, and now Asilian with his 5-7 is in. Pimp as well. The Tempo Storm, the strength in their weaponry starting to shine through. Freeze, I think, was trying to switch across to a different pistol, but in doing so, he gets himself killed. And Tempo Storm take a 2-0 lead now.
Yeah, so when the A take starts happening there for Tempo Storm, SK Gaming, they had 4 people down there at long A. 2 started to fall back, and then finally the third. But it was Madi who actually pushed out of long A to middle and was probably the key player for that round if SK were going to win it. He took a duel with his CZ, and unfortunately he lost it to Phelps that one with the P90. I'm sure just, well, both of those players with those guns are just holding mouse 1. But it's the P90 that won out, and at that point the round kind of ending as they're going to go for some boosts out there at long once more.
Yeah, this is going to be a swing and a miss from SK Gaming. Again, stacking A long. Just a P250. No reason to try and save with these USPs. They will be darting across to the B site once it's planted, I'm sure. Lucas, meanwhile, coming up towards Murder Hole. Actually, Tempo Storm are the team that are charging down, and this could get a bit scary for them. They've got the bomb planted already. You must assume that there's going to be a lot of unupgraded pistols, but Henny just had a shooting gallery. Easy kills for him, padding those stats nicely. 3 kills in total. Tempo Storm quickly maneuver themselves to 3-0, but here we go. SK Gaming finally have themselves a buy. Open the hands of both Freeze and Pimp. Double up setup coming to fruition.
Yeah, so Freeze has been the B-site opper most of the time. Kind of called him out early on in their first Cobble performance where Freeze seemed so timid. He was very scared to go on the B platform and look for any sort of information. That's like as much information as you can get on the CT side. It's very hard to find out what the terrorists are doing on this map without putting yourself at extreme risk. But he was doing that much more. He was also hitting his shots from on the B site earlier, and Pimp's already been pushed back from his opping position at long A.
So Tempo Storm have managed to uproot SK Gaming's initial idea on their defense side. As Cillian's going to be forced out as well. The Molotov connects, but the flashbang's not enough to hamper his defense. Freeze, in the meanwhile, as you expected, as you called, up on B plant. He loves this position, and he will consistently do it as well, especially if no one can deal with him. And with a P90 and UMP, not really the weapons that you want to be running up against an AWP with, unless you can close the gap and get up in the face. Phelps going to get sprayed down from Modi. Just behind the plant pot wall. Doing a lot of damage. Here comes Henny though, and Showtime. Bringing us back to a 3-on-3. They still have a smoke and a molly, so they can throw that up into balcony once the rest of the team get close enough. But the molly's already been thrown into murder hole. There's the smoke onto balcony, and then Cillian jumps out, and suddenly his feet are getting burnt. Henny's there with the AK-47, and a second kill from Lucas. Great comeback in this round from Tempo Storm after losing the first players, and understandably, Freeze wants no part of this round anymore.
And that is the nature of the A site, right? We saw Madi playing behind that headshot ledge, or the flower pot wall, as you put it. And his position there was so contingent on Pimp staying alive with his op and holding long A. But then Pimp falls. Madi got 1 kill, maybe could have got more. But once his support was gone, he goes down as well. And it's Tempo Storm to take the site. And Freeze, he was great. He went where we expected, up on the B plant and got the first kill. But it wasn't enough. And now he's just trying to hold on to the op.
Yeah, there's a couple of awkward situations where Modi was peeking up from mid, but then the rest of his team were playing very passive, so he was kind of by himself in the front lines. And you saw the aggression come through from Tempo Storm, and even though it was equal numbers, hold on a second, Freeze may lose this orb. The barrel of the gun betrays it, but Lucas gets spanked down from Freeze point-blank range. Oh my goodness. And they keep the orb, so not only is it an unfortunate turn of events for Tempo, but now if Freeze goes on and lands a couple of shots to this orb, this round's back open again.
That it is. He'll have to play very well with it, but then again, go back to the very first map. That's how Tempo Storm closed it out. Remember, Bolt saved an AK into a round, and they just ecoed with it and won. So maybe Freeze can do the same thing here for SK Gaming, as he goes for looking for some information there at middle, but pushback from utility.
Very aggressive play from Tempo Storm, and they nearly get punished for this as well on the side. There's the molly landing, making sure no one pushes through the doors towards the B side, and well, with the 5.7, the P250, with the Kevlar and the AWP, that's going to be save time for SK Gaming.
Yeah, it looks like Pimp wants to go ahead and brawl, though. He flanked, well, can't even really call it a flank, but he went all the way from outer through the terrorist spawn and back into the museum. So he's going to try to post up for some exits, but they're being completely avoided. He just kind of cleared the path that the rest of his team now, Freeze and Magicsploit, who have Kevlar as well as the op, they're taking the path and they're going to hide out there in Hogwarts, which I almost found yesterday. Went over to King's Cross. Didn't run into the wall. Resisted the temptation.
That's why you didn't find it.
Yeah, it's true.
There's your problem right there. The problem for SK now is that Tempo Storm have reached that threshold where things start to get so scary, the 5-0. The scoreline that saw them wreck VP time and time again yesterday, the scoreline that's seen them do that consistently throughout this tournament. And SK Gaming, on their CT side, they're going to have to start to string some rounds together.
Yeah, there really have been so many landslide starts in this tournament, and it has converted into the map win most of the time, as you might expect. So 5-0 for Tempo Storm could be quite worrisome because, of course, they're on series point. It's 2-1 right now. Tempo Storm in the lead there. Cobble being map 4. Double ops again, Pimp and Freeze. That was their bread and butter here on their CT side of Cobble. See if Freeze can make something work off this B plat.
They know this. That's why they're stacking so many mollies on the position. They're trying to force him out before he can get his feet set in and turn into the turret that we know Freeze is capable of being. Phelps, though, darts round the side. Even though Freeze gets himself the first kill, this is now going to be difficult to contend with. Second kill for Phelps, nearly gets a third. But meanwhile, Henny will dispatch Freeze. So from a position that you thought there was no way SK could possibly leak another round from, that's certainly not the case anymore. SK Gaming is still in this round, though. It's just got a whole lot harder.
Yeah, Phelps stepping up, sneaking past the defense. I think he hopped out of the smoke on broken wall and was able to work around unbeknownst to SK. But here's Pimp, nice op shot. Henny will connect one as well onto Showtime. And I'll pull out the MAC-10 to bring down Asilian. So sniper battle right now. Actually, Henny not even worried about it. They're both with the pistols. He switched out to an AK actually for Pimp.
I was going to say, it makes sense for Henny, wouldn't make sense for Pimp. Close range confrontation, Henny. Oh, lands the headshot on Pimp. He has 19 health left, and again, SK Gaming. So close, but just can't get it done.
That's the power of the Tech-9 illustrated again there, as Henny got both those frags with it.
That could be the round, you know, Jory. That round could have just cost SK this map. I know that sounds ridiculous with it only being 6-0, but think about, psychologically speaking, think about economically speaking, the fact it's 6-0 already.
Well, let's see, on Cash, it was SK Gaming that took the pause when they had 0 to the 7 of Tempo Storm, I do believe. Here we've got have SK Gaming going for a buy. If they don't win this one, their money's going to be wrecked, so they might go through one more eco and take a pause at 8-0. Either way, the pause has got to be coming out soon, and that's Freeze. Even with, you know, the way that the jump-up animation works, sometimes make it hard for Terrace to hit a shot like that or just bolt in that position, but he does. And Asilian, he'll bring down Phelps, keep it interesting 4-on-4.
This is quickly going the way of Tempo Storm once again. Asilian, the most forward member for SK, on the battlefront at this point. Henny, the perfect angle to watch into drop zone. The flashbangs landed. He thought the push would come afterwards. That wasn't the case in Tempo Storm. We're forcing SK into a corner. Modi will bounce back though, landing the headshot. Are they going to go for this one?
Just a few from up here.
Yeah, but the bomb is ticking down so quickly that SK are just going into the grinder. It's kill after kill. Henny, beautiful play. Up on the B plat, picks up 2, bolts with 3. 7-0, timeouts called. I think maybe SK Gaming might think about boosting on top of tree. We haven't seen him do that just yet.
Yeah, that's true. You can bring out the boost. There's also boost over in the A side as well.
You can boost up drop zone. You can actually flash and smoke it off and then look to boost yourself. A lot of teams will do that. Again, it's like what Phelps did on Dust 2 CT side. If you just push through long a couple of times, you keep it in the back of their mind, well, he could do this every round. And so far, Tempo Storm, though they can get a stranglehold over the map and just slowly push their way in and win.
Lucas blind and shooting, making sure no one's going to get through that smoke. And we actually have Pimp playing out in danger at a bit of a one-and-done spot.
It's more aggressive position, though. So as a lack of utility is on the cards for SK, they're almost forced into this scenario where you need to get information instead. You need to get some kind of resource out of the round. Otherwise, you will just slowly and painfully subside. So there, they went for the smoke, but they didn't go for the boost. And Lucas instantly pre-firing that. You just got to keep playing these games.
And now Pimp's gone back up danger. He know that he had left his back exposed to long A, so he goes to look there for some information. There's still one player lurking for Tempo Storm, but here comes this, execute. That is a fake, actually, onto the B site. They're going to run right back into Pimp, who's now pushed out of long. He's right behind them already.
If he plays this right, he can single-handedly win this round. That's, of course, assuming the rest of his team doesn't do it, but Lucas, his sixth sense was tingling that someone might be behind him. They know that Pimp often plays long A.
Wow.
And now it goes from a position where you think SK maybe have something to Magic's boy being all that remains. It was a force-up from SK. They didn't have a great buy coming into this. And Tempo Storm, they have denied the timeout. We were saying, is the Magic going to be real? Nope, it's not.
So Pimp obviously in a very key spot there, so quick on the flank, but he drops off. I'm pretty sure Lucas heard that. That was his spidey sense there, just, hearing it and reacting, and of course bringing his aim to the table as well and landing that shot. And then it seems like, all right, now we know that A is in danger, so everyone just starts trying to go in. Not necessarily one by one, but maybe jumping the gun and not just, like, you're so far behind, maybe just let them plant and then really coordinate your retake as opposed to just trying to rush in and go fast, because they all got wrecked.
You just, the key word there was coordinate. There has been a complete lack of coordination for SK Gaming on the CT side. I'd also like to draw attention to the fact that Henny, 14-1.
Yeah, that's insane. And he hasn't really had like a crazy massive performance this whole tournament, and here it is now when they need it the most, perhaps, to close out.
You're always thinking, hey, he's one of their star players, you know, he's a great AWP, he can land crazy shots. Yeah, but it's mainly been Phelps and Bolts that have been there. Showtime's had his performances, but then on the other side, he's been dropping like 9 for 31, as he did on Dust 2. This is a massive performance from Henny, and a lot of these have been impact kills as well. That double kill he got to stop the kill, then the Tech 9 frag and the 1v1 against Pimp. These are crucial kills he's been picking up for himself. Freeze is going to open up this round, at least, for SK Gaming. Pimp round the back again, could get the drop. There's the bomb down. He's going to pick up an AWP as well. Oh, he's going to continue his 5-7 killing spree, and the spray down from Pimp. Once again, SK Gaming not picking up the rifle rounds, but picking them up with pistols.
So semi-serious, semi-joking. Why does Pimp use any other gun besides a 5.7? It's like every time he has it, he just comes away with these ridiculous multi-kills. He gets 2 there and finishes off that third with the AK.
There may be an element of Pimp just not being in his own head. When you've got a 5.7, again, it's like this pressure lifted off your shoulders. The expectation of having a rifle in your hands, like, I've got to get a kill or 2, or we lose this round. When you've got a 5.7, you're like, well, we're probably going to lose anyway. I'll just go ham.
That's not a good sign, though. Freeze, generally that B opper now does go for that aggressive peek into middle, get information, and it's an op bullet to the head from Henny, and Bolts here killing Magic's boy.
That's a great start for Tempo, isn't it? And actually, this is almost the worst case scenario for SK Gaming. You finally win a round, but then your round loss reset bonus is gone. Or round loss reset comes in, I should say, and your rest bonus is gone. So, unless Pimp, Moddy, and Asilian pull off some sick crossfires, then I think this is going to be SK much bowing out of the next couple of rounds. That's a pretty solid incendiary. It forces Phelps away. But SK, all they've done is potentially delay the inevitable. And that bomb now could move to A, but it seems like Tempo Storm not going to be giving up the chase for this B play.
It seems like that Molotov from SK, they really wanted to get that kill onto Phelps, but instead he was able to bounce back. And let's see, I think that's Showtime, right? Lurking over at A. He's going to maybe get the information very soon that no one's there. Pip's going to hit a shot. Monty in a key position to stop them from dropping out the window. He'll find the one, then on 5 HP tries to retreat, but it's the flame of Phelps that will take him down.
Pimp and Asilian now have it all to do. 25 seconds left on the timer. Pimp with the AWP is still over on the B plat. Asilian with his AK-47 is going to be joining his teammate. Bomb planted. Be interested to see. Well, judging from Pimp's position, that's going to be another save. SK Gaming. It's all well and good saving the weapons, but at some point you're going to have to start to get rounds. Saving won't be good enough.
Yeah, I don't know if we're quite there yet, right? This will put Tempo Storm at 9.
Yeah, I'd say from this point onwards, this is where you have to start picking rounds up. 9-6 half on CT side of Cobblestone. If they can get that, that's fine. It's not great, but you win the pistol, you're right back in it. And the T side, you can get a lot of work done. But the other problem as well, of course, is if Henny's playing this godlike on the CT side with an AWP, it's going to be hard-pressed to get through on either side.
Yeah, when you think of the CT op on Cobble, it's generally seen in the B site a lot of the time, and it is just people are going to be flying off that B platform, jumping at you, running at you, and it just comes down to crazy peaks and ridiculous shots, and what do you know, that's what Henny is pretty much known for, just hitting some insane shots. So his opping style on the CT side of B on this map, yeah, that could be scary when he's 15-2 already.
Good news for SK is they managed to save an AWP, so another double AWP setup is in play, and they did a pretty solid work with this the last time they had it. This now allows Pimp to play a bit more of a turret role on long A. It's going to be a fast B play, though, from Tempo Storm. They're going right in, the flashes, the mollies, everything. They'll be thrown into the face of SK Gaming. This is where the AWP can really struggle. If it gets isolated from the rest of the team, and Bolts and Showtime stand up, and this is what I mean, Freeze has to back away. He can't afford to stay on the site, and doing so, the AWP is neutralized. You can't do anything in this position other than if Tempo Storm make a huge mistake in that smoke. It's going to take his vision away further yet from Freeze. Moddy in the meanwhile, though, is playing the close angle. He's going to smoke the site, maybe try and draw out a couple of the terrorists. He's going to get himself killed. SK Gaming don't want to give up the chase just yet. Phelps from the side will take down the round, and Tempo Storm move to a commanding lead, already double digits with 10 rounds.
Wow, what a decision there from Tempo Storm to just go extremely fast onto B. You saw how effective those flashes were. When we got over to Cillian, he was full blind. Magic's Boy was either partial blind or turning, running, shifting positions. They all got cleaned up no problem. And I don't know if Freeze was late to the party, had a bad spawn, and was at Rock trying to get maybe to site or to Chicken Coop. But when we got to Freeze, he was in the connector doors trying to kill people on cross, and he couldn't do that either.
I think he was around Rock side, just looking up to B plat, but when all the flashes come over, when
he was forced to fall back too.
He had to just pull back, because if they get up in your face, we've already seen Phelps. This is the other thing as well, keeps in the back of your mind. Phelps has dropped down from the broken wall, went through rectangle, got around the back of them, so he has to be really careful about that. And now with just pistols, SK getting lined up, knocked down, Phelps with doubles.
He's on 1 HP
though. Oh yeah, the 5-7's in play. Oh.
All right, no V1, no 1v57
Yeah,
action.
you almost expect Pimp to get at least 2 kills now with a 5-7. You're disappointed when he doesn't.
So lots of ones up there on that scoreboard. SK wishing they had 2 of them instead, I'm sure. But it's 11-1 right now. Tempo Storm. They've certainly already done enough, but why not? If they, I almost don't want to say it to jinx it, but if they get another 14-1 half, that'll be the 3rd one against SK Gaming for them.
That's a really good point. Goes to show when it rains, it pours for SK Gaming against Tempo Storm. Phelps did try and charge through again, so another attempted fast B play perhaps, and he will get shut down from a Cillian. AK in his hands now, managed to trade across. Okay, this is good. They're going to go for the boost. It's a bit later than normally expect, but this is the exact kind of play that if they charge him into, he can get down onto B long and can do some serious damage. So Modi is going to be that man. The spray through the smoke is going to be good for 1 kill, leaving Bolts all by himself up on B platform. Every angle almost teeming with SK Gaming players, and it's going to be Freeze that'll put the final nail on the coffin. Maybe SK can get 4. Maybe they can still make a go of this.
And I believe that's one of the first times, or the first time in a long while, that Tempo Storm had run into a player playing on the very back wall of the B platform, or the flower spot, I kind of like to call it these days. That was Magic's Boy, and he got those 2 kills right away. Early man advantage, and definitely a lot of chaos at that point on the take for Tempo Storm, and the rest of them get cleaned up. So 2nd round for SK Gaming, but this will be tough. If they get reset here, it's just going to be 2 really, really bad, or 1 really bad force buy going into round 15.
4 rounds may not be enough, but at least 4 rounds gives them a bit of wiggle room if they do lose a pistol. Lucas, seemingly the man that has been tasked with the job of stopping the boost from drop. Oh, this could be bad. He's shown that when that smoke comes down, he'll tap through there. Modi's going to go up. They will hit his gunfire. Maybe going to wait until Lucas goes for the reload. And now push in. This is a key moment of the round. This is absolutely massive. You can hear the tags as well, slightly too high. Modi is so unlucky not to get a single headshot out of that confrontation. He's down to 6.
Yeah, I think he hit Lucas maybe once for 22, or maybe that was some nade damage that went up earlier, but Modi took so much. I thought for sure he was going to be going down to 6 HP. And once more, we've got Showtime set up on this lurk position over in danger.
B play after B play for Tempo Storm, and SK Gaming have not been able to deal with this too often.
Sounds like Cobble.
Yep, certainly does. Boost on tree, gets neutralized from a flashbang. Freeze lands the shot. That's going to be the bomb out in the open, but drop zone has been completely given up. Modi had a couple of chances to take down Bolts, but in doing so, he's whiffed them and he's going to fall down through the doors. Pimped out with the grenade that actually could get the kill afterwards. But it's 12-2, and it simply doesn't matter. SK Gaming, how's your economy looking? It's probably going to be fairly poor, yeah. 1.4k in a Cillian.
So that was basically SK Gaming's setup that was working so well for them yesterday. They put Freeze back onto the site, and they had a player on the rectangle watching that crossfire, and they were absolutely dominating Dignitas and Hellraisers with that, but just same setup, but can't get anything done against Tempo Storm. I don't know if it's Tempo Storm just playing exceptionally well, or maybe SK Gaming at this point a little bit in their own heads and not able to hit these shots.
I feel like it's probably a bit of column A, a bit of column B. You know, Tempo Storm have certainly been playing extremely well. SK have missed out on some opportunities. A bit uninspired maybe on their CT side. The Tempo Storm setting up perfectly again. The 2 players just watching, making sure no one can get round the back.
Here's Henny hoping for some aggression. We've seen Freeze go for the aggressive peek there a couple times, but that's when he had the op, so it won't be coming. Just 2 people out there mid for Tempo Storm. Seeing if maybe the players on 5-7s or just really lower buys won't get, really aggressive really early on. Not happening yet.
Freeze takes negligible damage from the grenade, just 1 in total. This bolt's on the other side of the map that's going to make it work for Tempo Storm once again as the execute does get momentarily stopped from Magic's boy. Murders Phelps. Bomb now traversing through to the A side. Well, originally it was going to, but instead it's caught in limbo for the time being. It's only 35 seconds left or thereabouts, so have to get a move on. And it's going to be a full B stack from SK Gaming. This is looking pretty good for them.
Yeah, they still have 2 players coming up the stairs into the Dragon Room right now for the side of Tempo Storm, so they're
SK.
lagging a bit behind.
Oh, no.
And our SK doubting themselves a lot. Oh, the flashers coming over. They actually will keep Magic's boy interested in staying here, but they've given up the site. Magic's boy, he's just got to hit the hard shots. Asilian getting 1 more. Magic's boy with the second. And now it might fall onto Henny. Oh, yes, it does. He's the last one alive. 1 versus 4 here.
10 seconds, though. First kill down, nicely played, but time itself was ticking against him, so 12-3. Half-time scoreline, not quite as bad as the 14-1 on Cash, but not far off.
Yeah, so they do bounce back a little there with the 3 rounds for S.
2-1 in this best of 5. If they win this map, they win the entire thing. $55,000 will be moving into their bank accounts. Question now, Joey. Can SK bounce back?
It's going to be tough and a lot. I mean, with a halftime score like this, so much of it just falls onto the pistol round, and it will be that 1 smoke from Vasilian out. Everyone else with Kevlar, and here's Henny getting the first kill, but Pimp with the response.
A very solid response at that, though, but SK Gaming going to be trying to force their way through the doors onto the A side. 2 for 2 now, as Pimp lands another double headshot. In fact, he's picked up 3 kills this round. Freeze is there, leaving Bolts with just 15 health. All that remains. He's a pretty huge player when it comes to this P2000. Gets kills time and time again, but this is a rough ask. This is a lot to expect from him, and he gets caught from Freeze, lands the headshot, full house of kills. Pimp with 3, Freeze with 2, and SK Gaming do get the pistol, so that gives them a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, and actually SK were at a mad disadvantage for like a split second there until Pimp makes that aggressive peek through the connector doors. Coming away with 2 real fast, 3 overall in the round. He's 15-9 right now. Pimp was the man pretty much on Dust 2 for this team. Did well on a Mirage. Actually, no, didn't do well on Mirage, but that doesn't really matter because his team was able to win. But here on Cobble, he's playing fantastic. Unfortunately, they're just so far behind. Will it be enough?
Got 8 more rounds to pick up if they want to take us to an all-even affair. Tempo Storm, of course, with the bite. Henny's just going to get himself a HE, wants the AWP as soon as possible. Lucas with the Deagle, we've seen him do this time and time again.
That Molly didn't seem very effective there over at Long A. It didn't seem like it even cleaned out those hay bales. Maybe just trying to push someone off of a awkward angle. Showtime going to go down the CT slope, but Pimp is waiting for him.
Yeah, you can see that their thought process, though, because remember, the SK stacked Long A themselves, and those were positions that they were picking up, so they may be thinking, okay, if Tempo Storm were going to go for a cheeky stack like we did, that Molotov will ruin their day. But as you say, no one was home. Being said, it probably isn't going to make a great deal of difference. Pimp will finally get that kill. Missed quite a few shots in the process. Used 11 in total to finish off Showtime, but 827 damage in return. That's good enough, though, for SK Gaming, but the time is starting to tick down a little bit. 35 seconds. Phelps seems to think this is a B play, and that's going to probably be highlighted now from the fact that there's a MAC-10 in the hands of Modi, but it's a trap. They're pushing on to A now. Phelps with his 5-7 looking to emulate out of Pimp. Maybe get himself some kills. Pimp watching the murder hole. No reason to knock this down. It's a really solid position, and Phelps is about to walk into it. He gets headshotted. Back of his head taken off. Now the rest of these weapons probably just going to get saved.
So the only thing that was going to make that round very interesting for Tempo Storm, they didn't have a lot into it, obviously just the pistols. Phelps had a flash, and Phelps is the one that threw the flash for Showtime. Showtime just checking the wrong way. If he had killed Pimp early on and taken away an AK, things get very interesting, but that wasn't the case. And then Madi selling the fake very, very well with that MAC-10 out on B, goes to a free plant, and SK Gaming not even going to lose a single player.
Yeah, sold that to perfection at the perfect time as well, because it was at that moment where you could see that the tempo were not entirely sure. They were unconvinced by the A or the B plays. They're in this weird transition phase through connector when Modi popped up on the B platform. 5 to 12, Tempo Storm full ecoing. I can see Henny has 3.1k, so he will have an AWP coming up in round 19. 3 SMGs still in play for SK as well. No reason for them to trade those out in this round. Just want to get as much kills as possible with the SMGs.
Yeah, try to earn that money, keep that T-side going, because they're going to need it. I don't think it's going to be the easy comeback for SK Gaming. Tempo Storm, you keep in mind that both Henny, Phelps, and Bolts, and even Lucas here in this match, all 4 of them have been playing extremely well. I think Henny's sitting on 15 kills right now, and then Bolts and Lucas were at 11 apiece, with Phelps somewhere in between. And speaking of Bolts, he'll have that 5-7 monkey business out here at long. Player in danger does have his back. And Monty going to start to make some noise over here at B once more. Molotov back to KFC, and he's going to jump off that platform.
Yeah, easy route through onto the side. Smokes on the side as well, just to make sure you get no one taps from the Deagle that was in play, or the 5-7. Pimp with 2, Freeze with 1. At this point, just a case of clearing up the rest of these kills, and indeed they will do just that. They make quite a bit of damage though for their troubles. Now Phelps with the USP has the task of maybe taking down both Modi and Freeze if they walk in. SK Gaming have done exactly what they needed to do at the start of this second half. Next round though is going to be their first real test.
Yeah, no reason for them to chase Phelps. Phelps, of course, will want to chase them, but will be hard-pressed to do so as they've put a lot of distance. Actually, maybe not. He'll switch it over to drop. Now spawning one, but with the USP kill, not going to be easy to find, and Asilian will grab it. 600 kills from the UMP, and that'll be SK Gaming now with 6.
Yep, Henny with the AWP. Also can have Kevlar behind that as a result of him saving the previous 2 rounds. FAMAS in play for Phelps, M4s across the rest of the team. SK, of course, will be trading out those SMGs to AKs in the previous round. A couple of players were very low. And let's see how these AWPers counteract one another. So Freeze is just going to watch mid. And it seems like Henny is going to be running with the AWP in mid as well. In danger, actually.
Okay, so he's watching the back there of Henny. Showtime, that was, watching Henny's back. He's got a bit of a one-and-done angle. And this is going to be quite a shot here from Henny if he can land it, and he does. He's going to bring down Pimp, almost finding another one there, and one more out of the retreat. No, he will take down Pimp. Pimp also, the other day, having some crazy highlight clips there with the op, that same position on Cobble, but that's Henny with the first kill of the round now.
Solid plays, though. Kill and escape, full health intact. Couldn't ask for much more from the start of the round from Tempo Storm. Back onto the site as well. Standard setup, 3-2 formation. And he can now relocate and just pop on to long A. This is the difference that we saw in the round where it was Modi that was looking down from the headshot wall and Pimp was playing really passive on the A site. This time you got the truck, crossfire with Showtime, I think that is, watching down from the A site itself. Exactly, yeah. So you got this really good crossfire down, making sure that both areas are covered nicely.
Or at least Showtime can get information saying, hey, they've come up the slope, you got to back off. And actually, he can't get that information anymore, but they're going maybe a little too quickly because Henny's still on that angle, able to come away with 2. Will miss over the wall. That one headshot. Molotov goes in. He is maybe in danger of burning alive.
There you go. Perfect crossfire. As you say, like, Showtime doesn't even necessarily need to kill someone. All he has to do is spot. He just has to scout for his teammate. And if someone pushes up mid, then you'll see Henny back away as well to a more passive position, maybe underneath balcony, and just watch the cross from there. And of course, SK will be able to buy up again. It's going to be a fairly solid buy up at that. Modi just with the Galil, however. 6 for 16 he finds himself on. And Tempo have a decent spawn for Henny, so he had the decision of maybe trying to go for a position that Freeze would like to go, but that may have been a mistake because now you can see that SK are looking to play very quickly through B platform.
That was a tasty nade. Freeze, Asilian, and Magic Exploit all taken down at least 25%. Actually, at least 30. Here's Modi.
Modi just straight through the smoke and the flashes. Switches across to the M4 as well, which is pretty much full on bullets. And how much of a pain in the backside can he be? That flashbang actually wrecked him. because it allowed bolts to actually come in. They're both going to be lining up for Modi. At least sprays one of them down. Another flashbang stops them from getting the bomb for a few more seconds. Flashes and smokes. Henny is still lurking on the corner. They're not going to expect this whatsoever. He's been there for so long in this smoke. Now he's going to pop flash his way out of the smoke, but Freeze is up to the task. Connects with the AK, all on Showtime now. To be a good way for SK to bounce back after conceding the last one, and Pimp from behind puts Showtime down and gives SK another round. 6 behind now, though.
Man, so Henny gets his first shot on the site, then he falls back into the wall of smokes. There were so many smokes that were going down. He pushes over to that pile of rubble. I think Bolts ended up backing into that corner as well. It got very, very chaotic, and it was kind of funny that Henny ended up sitting on that pile for so long, because that's where a lot of times the terrorists will want to push up to and play that as a post plant, but they were pretty hesitant. They knew that all the CTs were behind that wall of smoke, and they actually could never make their way back in. Saw that pop flash attempt, but it didn't work out, and then Pimp eventually getting there on the flank, securing the round.
What I say, this is one of the best performances I've seen from Pimp in quite some time. He's 21-10, even though his team are 7-13 behind. That is some serious fragging power. He is carrying his team so hard at this point.
He's played well at this event. Even on the one combo match that they won, he had 9 kills. I thought he played it very well, kind of doing the dance over there at A, getting that information backing off and staying alive for the most part.
This time more of an A-centric play from Tempo Storm, who look to come around the back. This is a difference, though, from SK. When Tempo Storm were on the T side, they kept players there to make sure that this rotation didn't come to fruition, and now if they start to get picked off from behind, and is going to be the end result. Freeze at least gets himself 1 kill with the Glock, and here comes the cleanup from Pimp. 2 in quick succession, moving towards his 30. Phelps in drop zone is not going to get anything for his troubles, and SK with pretty much a flawless round, keeping all their weapons.
Yeah, so far the comeback going very well for SK Gaming. We'll consider it real when they get into the double digits as well. That's definitely the first hurdle on the way back. This one should be an easy one, as Tempo Storm do not have all that much money. Take a look at Pimp's stats. Oh, perfectly. Which is the decimal point, 100 ADR.
Yeah, which is nuts considering that his team have been up against it from the start. You know, 12-3 first half performance. Absolutely nuts.
And they're just staying all together. I think it's the death ball approach right now from SK Gaming as they try to survive a pesky CT force buy.
Molly's going to be taking point, coming through first. There's so many grenades to contend with. Bolton. Phelps may very well spoil the party from SK. Bolton's got himself an AK-47 and the Kevlar behind it as well. He's going for that pre-fire through the smoke. Finally picked off, but has he done enough damage for Showtime and Henny to clear up? That's very possible. Long-range frag from Showtime. Up B long leaves Freeze all by his lonesome. He knows one player's up here, but where's the second? Oh, he's going to miss the spray, and Henny takes us to 14-8, but Bolts take a bow because that was your round.
And I think you even mentioned, like, oh, Monty's going out first. He's the one to take point on the B site, but it kind of was well illustrated. There was so much smokes, flashes coming out. He got stuck on a wall. He was confused. He didn't even know where he was. And at that point, there must have been some other confusion because Tempo Storm came away with 2 quick pistol frags on players jumping off the platform. Monty did have one as a response, but then on the flank, Tempo Storm are able to finish that off. I'm just really surprised Showtime came away with that kill, because it's not like he's been playing exceptionally well, but he beats out Monty with, I think, a P250 at the range of the whole long B platform.
That was nicely done. I think that player was also tagged as well, so his mission was a little bit easier than it could have been, but take nothing away from Tempo Storm. That was a sublime round. Maybe a couple of question marks over SK Gaming's approach, though. Showtime now in danger, has got the bomb dropped. Will get traded out from Pimp, who is just going from strength to strength. 25 kills now for him. He may not be done just yet in this round. Bomb picked up. Meanwhile, Modi just watching, waiting patiently in case a booster or a play up B long comes in from Tempo Storm.
So it's nice for SK Gaming to get that first kill in the man advantage, but Lucas then winning the battle onto the lurker of Modi, starting to expect his lurking habits now on a Cobble to be over there at the B platform or maybe in drop. So Lucas wins that. That's an important one. And Henny's also still alive and very healthy.
Because Modi lurks a lot on B, they may realize that the fast play wasn't really imminent now. Allows them to take a couple of deep breaths and wait for the push. There was enough time, though, that SK have moved their way onto this site now.
Oh, Lucas is so low. He's not worried about B platform, so Bolts will come back and take care of that, but then he just gave up the drop window. He's lucky they're actually not taking that approach. Oh, a player's gone in right behind him already, so Lucas is going to fall, but Bolts gets it, and it was Phelps, I think, that went through the window. He gets the 1 kill for the flank, and that opens up the opportunity for Bolts to get another free kill.
The rallying cry from Tempo Storm. I tell you what, Henny's been a bit of a sleeper OP player as well. 23 for 8. At one point, I think he was 14 for 1. So he kind of went off the boil for a little while. Pimp took over, but he's been gradually chugging along with kills. Bolt has 5 first kills. Pretty nice work.
Yeah, it's massive. I'm assuming that's just on this map too, not the match overall, but...
Yeah, it was like 17-13, I think his stats.
Yeah. So that's just on this map. That is very, very good. And SK Gaming, their economy not at a great spot, and of course, Tempo on match point, so they had to go for the buy. That means a lot of Tech-9, some utility, and Pimp, he's been so good, so he will stay with that AK. I can get behind that decision.
Definitely. This is what I mean. So often when you see teams in this situation, they'll just get their own AK and won't trade it across to the guy who's on form. Damage being done, and here comes the charge. What could be the last one from SK in this tournament, unless they can land the kills, and they're doing just that for now. But Modi and Magic's Boy both been tagged. Pimp's been picked off as well, the star player. Dead and buried. Magic's Boy with a deagle. So he can get a kill through one of the smokes. So far, so good for SK. The bomb's been planted, but Magic's Boy has been put down with authority. Asilian could very well be the man to clutch this out. Bolt had an idea, the player was in smoke, that's the correct decision. And now it all falls to Asilian. How are your Tech-9 skills? Not good enough. Lucas lands their headshot, and that's going to be all she wrote. Tempo Storm will take it 3-1, and are your champions.
Yeah, they've got to be so excited right now. You can see them hugging it out. Tears were shed yesterday after the victory over VP in the semifinals to even get here in the first place. They take it 3-1 over SK, who looked like they were rallying back there on Cobble, but it wasn't quite enough. And Henny with a massive performance. So gonna get these guys out of the booth real quick so they can hoist that trophy. Take a look at that oversized check.
You know, I think, yeah, SK got battered on a couple of these maps, but they can hold their heads high. Coming into this, they would have never expected to get through to the grand finals. So they've done themselves proud.
I mean, after day one, SK performance, no one expected them to get anywhere close to the finals. They got completely wrecked by Tempo Storm, but they bounced back. They had a great tournament. I mean, maybe the selfless, sorry Ryu, but they were able to get some farming in there, get their confidence back, and then took that to Dig and Hellraisers to get to the finals here against Tempo Storm. But now here they are. It's Tempo Storm about to be handed the trophy, and there it is. It's the CEVO Gfinity Season 9 champions, Tempo Storm.
Not around world, it's just a Brazilian world.
So there you have it. We've got Tempo Storm winning their first international title. You can see how much it means to them there. We've got a lot of Brazilian fans here in London as well. And guys, that final map, I mean, they won it in emphatic fashion. We talked about them.